Alright, so I couldn't resist doing a little bit more on areas I didn't have to sand. Like, I don't know what you'd call that, but where your forefinger might go, whether it's your trigger finger or your support hand. Um, and I like it. I think I'm getting in the groove of this one. Again, obviously, it's still just starting out, but I like it. It's kind of aggressive, so we'll see how that plays. I had a little bit of holster wear up here, so we'll see how this fits in the holster. I don't see it being an issue though. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call this the Thorns version. It reminds me of the Crown of Thorns that my Lord wore before the crucifixion. But I think it's pretty dope. So I'll keep that going. Yeah, get a better shot for you. So again, not perfect, still kind of working it out. But I like it. It's good enough for my first try. Alright guys, I'm back at it. Day 2 of sanding and stippling. I had taped it up and done drawings on another couple of days, but obviously not full days, just time here and there. So let's get this in the light. So you can see I sanded the sides a little bit. This Gen 3, the texture's not too big, so I didn't want to go nuts. I just kind of wanted to touch it a little bit. So I sanded that with 120 and 400. I think maybe just 120. It wasn't. I didn't want to mess up the Glock logo here. It wasn't working as well as I thought. I tried with just paper on the back. It looks a little lousy, but I think that's where it's supposed to be at for right now. I ended up using a German wheel just because my hand wasn't doing anything, and I was afraid I was going to mess it up all over. And for me, it was more about trying to get. It turns out, as I was sanding, the material started to sort of melt together, and I think that's kind of what I was going for, because obviously if you remove all that material, your back straps can be really thin, and I didn't want to change the contour. Obviously that's engineered perfectly on the back here. So I just kind of melted together, was mindful of the hole down here. Started sanding a little bit off here, and that was difficult. I feel like the most difficult part so far of this has been the sanding. I think I need to get some different Dremel wheels. And then the front, I didn't want to remove the finger grooves, and I just wanted to get these melted a little bit. And I went a little more conservative up here so that I wasn't messing up the contour up there. One slip of the Dremel and you're in trouble. But I kept it at a decently low RPM, and then just down here as well, just trying to get an even surface for the stippling. I was going to do the front, but I see the texture goes all the way down here very nicely, so I'm going to save that for last. But again, just was dremeling, had it in the vise, had it in my hand, was doing a little wet sanding and some dry sanding. That's all I had was some discs for the lower, some orbital discs for the lower, this 120 grit, 80 grit, and then the higher numbers I had an actual paper from some painting in the car I was doing. But I think the main issue is this Dremel wheel, so you probably want to get a finer point sanding. You see obviously the thick grit on there is just leaving, taking chunks out. Just leaving a messy surface that's hard to clean up. So definitely want to get a better Dremel wheel than I've got here. But I think for what I've got, I think it'll be fine. All right. Sorry about the sniffles, allergies this morning, but let's go. All right. So I've got part of this right side of the frame done, and I'm really liking the way it's coming out. I feel like the texture is nice. It's fairly straightforward to do. I can fix some errors when I go a little too deep sometimes. But I tried to make an edge here, and that's pretty hard to do, so I'm going to see what I can do to clean that up later. I may just extend it to the bottom, and then when I get the Magpul frame, see what I can Dremel off with a better Dremel wheel. But I like it so far. Feels good in the hand. It's still a little warm, but it doesn't feel too rough. It's not too aggressive. I'm trying not to go too deep with it. But again, let's see if I can show you on this thing right here, one-handed. And this iron's off, so I don't know how hot it's still going to be. Should be on for a while. It's still pretty hot, but I'm just kind of going back. Yeah, it's cold already. I'm just doing that back and forth and randomly going, and then if there's an empty spot, just come back and do it again, or the spot doesn't look quite right, just cross it over with another side line, and it tends to fix it up pretty good. So that's where I'm at so far, and let's see how it goes.
Alright guys, so gonna do a little bit more work on this real quick and just taking it slow. Again, it's my first time stippling, so started doing the finger grooves here, and you can see that you can still kind of see the original grooves. I didn't fully sand these flush with the Dremel wheel I had. I don't mean to make excuses. I really probably could have gone to the store and gotten some, but I wanted to see. I thought I might be able to get away with it, so I'm going to try and clean that up a little bit. I might do that later and just try and get the rest going and then come back and clean it up, but maybe next time sand these a little bit better, a little more flush before stippling next time. But I'm going to try and use this as the border here, and I'll probably try and sand in there and clean that up later and maybe tape it off and sand or something, I don't know. But let's see, probably just be time-lapse footage.
And I was dead, born again with eyes for 15 pain was the name of mine. Wash me in the river, give me.
Alright, so you can see I got some more done here. Just kind of start filling in this side. And I was going a little bit shallower around the Glock logo to try and make sure I didn't mess it up, and I think I did okay. I came in a little bit there, but I think it's okay. And I'll probably, if this is not matching, I'll probably come a little bit deeper in there later. But I didn't want to mess that up. I wanted to keep that pretty clean there. So not too bad for just a few minutes, 10 minutes maybe. As you see, it's gonna be time consuming, but I find it kind of enjoyable and relaxing, at least for this first time. I don't know if I'd enjoy doing it all day every day, but it's certainly fun. Alright, so it's all done. I think I definitely would get the extended mag release now, even though it's a concealed carry piece. It's hard to tell because now this is no longer smooth and this has texture. I mean, obviously there is a little difference, but you know, real quick you'd want to know. Plus I just kind of like it. And I can see why guys do the scallop there, but I wasn't about to do that until they ruined the frame. You can see how tough it was for me to even do this, so I definitely need more Dremel practice. But overall, I like it so far. I like the way it looks. To the back plate, to the sides, and I think it's looking good. I think it's looking good. So, there you have it. Gen 3 Glock 23 stippled for the first time. You know, I can see I got a little mess up going on there. But you know, I could always make this border a little bit bigger or do edging around it. But for right now, I like it. I'm settled where this is at for today. So you can see the bottom, I added I went to mostly the bottom on the side here to where there's a ridge and followed the natural bevel rather of the bottom. And again, I plan to get the Magpul Magwell for here anyway. So we'll see how that works, see what kind of sanding I need to do. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, favorite, subscribe, all that good stuff. And see you in the next one. May God bless you. Keep standing up for what's right.